Welcome back. Here to preview the Boxing Day match between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur. Pascal, starting with the home side, bottom at Christmas. Obviously, no one wants to be that. Only twice in Premier League history of teams that have been bottom at Christmas ended up surviving. Obviously, one of those was Sunderland last season. Difficult. Leicester into this game, really poor run of form. Lost the last five.
They have, yeah. And obviously, it was a really tough game at the weekend going to West Ham, who are obviously right up there playing brilliantly under Allardyce. And I don't think many people would have given them a chance there. And 2-0 defeat. That's sort of what a lot of people would have predicted. I would have thought, West Ham, their quality just told you. Obviously, they were so much more confident than Leicester. Obviously, it's now 12 without a win for Leicester, and they've lost 10 of those games as well to just tumble to the bottom of the table. Obviously, 5 points from safety now. It is looking a bit bleak for them. And obviously, the West Ham game, Stuart Downing, Andy Carroll on the score sheet, they're both really in form for them, and it always would have been tough. But I think Nigel Pearson would have been disappointed that they weren't able to get a goal. And the problems really are just stacking up for them.
I think the goals have been a problem, isn't it? Sort of finding the back of the net early in the season. Last time they won a game was against United. They ended up scoring 5 times. Everyone thought, I think Ijoa scored in that game. Then Jamie Vardy was very good in that game, but Ijoa's sort of gone off the boil a bit, hasn't he? He's still having chances, but and Jamie Vardy as well. He's never going to be prolific if he's got a lot of pace. But it'll be interesting to see what Nigel Pearson does in January. Whether he brings in, you're looking around. Does he go for a Premier League striker? Does he try and go dip into the Championship? What he knows to bring in someone who can score goals? Because I think players like Cambiasso in midfield, obviously he's got a lot of quality, but you can't rely on him to score lots of goals. And overall, I think goals are obviously ultimately going to be what keep you in the league, because they don't keep enough clean sheets.
Yeah, and obviously they have had a tough run of fixtures recently. The West Ham game was a tough one, and it doesn't really get any easier here coming up against the Spurs side. Back-to-back wins over Swansea and Burnley, and the Burnley game that would have been a tough one for them because they've had some dodgy results at home this season. I think the fans might have just been a little cautious because Burnley obviously they've improved in the last couple of months, and they got the win in the end. Harry Kane on the score sheet again. He has been excellent the last few weeks. Keeping £30 million man in Roberto Soldado out of the team. Obviously Adebayor's been away for personal reasons, and people are saying that Pochettino might want to get rid of him in January now, but the wages could be a sticking issue. So obviously Kane's shining light again. Eriksen continues to play well, and I think Spurs, they're improving at the moment, and there's reason to be hopeful for the Spurs fans, I think.
I think, like I said, back-to-back wins, starting to sort of, if they can put a nice little run together, I think that full spot's open, isn't it? I think we're all agreed that it will be Chelsea and Man City as the top two. Manchester United looking strong for third now, and when you look below that, Arsenal, Liverpool all stuttering, Southampton and West Ham are obviously up there, but personally, I don't think they will finish in the top 4. I think it will be between Everton as well. Everton are struggling last season, so I think Spurs can put a nice little run together now. But then again, it is Spurs, and they are inconsistent, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if they just went and sort of lost this game. But
yeah, they're only 4 points off the 4th spot, so it definitely is there for the taking. But they've got some huge games coming up after this. I think most people will obviously pick them to win this against the bottom of the table side, but it's United and Chelsea after this, and if they do sort of really want to sort of stake a claim for that 4th spot, I think they have to win at least one of those 2 games because like you said, United, they're looking great at the moment. Obviously, draw at the weekend against Villa, that was sort of a bit of a stutter, but they'd won loads of games before that, and obviously Chelsea at the top of the table. So I think this game is definitely a winnable one. But then if they do win this one, then the next 2 will be even bigger because if they can get a win in one of those 2 and really sort of stake a claim for a top 4 place, it'd be massive for them.
So you backing them to win in this game?
Yeah, I think you have to. Obviously Leicester, like we talked about earlier about 10 defeats in the last 12. It is a terrible run of form, and Spurs, they're the opposite. They're quite confident at the moment. So I'm going to back Spurs to win this 2-0.
2-0. Yeah, I actually agree. Leicester are really struggling, aren't they? And Spurs are good in these sort of games, so I'm going to back 2-0 as well. So we both see fairly comfortable wins for Spurs. Thanks for joining us.